This is No Limit Larry here, the Morning Madhouse, inviting you to tune in to hear Bishop Philip Davis deliver the inspirational word every morning, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., only on Power 98, 97.9.
Good evening and welcome to Envision Life. I'm your host for tonight, R.J. Davis, filling in for Dr. Davis. You know, I'm looking forward to tonight's program, not just because I get to host, but because I believe it will make a difference in your life. Let me start out by asking you this question. Does single-gender schools really make a difference in the life of a child's education? Does it prepare them for their future? Well, many would say, yes, absolutely, it makes a difference, given the way that boys and girls learn differently. On the other hand, many would argue that it makes no difference at all. In fact, it simply perpetuates the gender stereotypes and leaves students unprepared for the real world. Well, tonight on Envision Life, we're going to explore this topic and discover if there are, in fact, benefits of single-gender schools. As a matter of fact, our guest tonight is the founder and the visionary of Charlotte Community School for Girls. She is going to join us in just a moment to give her perspective on this issue, as well as share how we can get involved in the development of the lives of these young girls. So don't go away. Stay right with us. You're watching Envision Life, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Envision Life. If you're just joining us, I am R.J. Davis, your host for the evening. I'm filling in for Dr. Davis. And I want to introduce now our special guest for this evening. Her name is Cathy Sheafor. And let me read a current article that was on WBT.com entitled, Hometown Hero for July is Cathy Sheafor. And it says this: Cathy is a former Justice Department lawyer and Duke University law professor. She has been working with disadvantaged girls since she was a college student, serving as a big sister as well as coaching a girls' swim team. For years, Cathy dreamed of giving girls from low-income homes the same opportunity she and her daughters had in school. Last year, she began conceptualizing a middle school where girls would be challenged to reach for the stars. She imagined that learning would be fun and that students would graduate with an excitement for the arts and technology. On August 23rd, her time and her energy came to fruition, and her dream came true. The Charlotte Community School for Girls will open its doors and has opened its doors to the first 5th grade class. They are being challenged to think, to question, and to create in meaningful ways. Cathy wants to see all the graduates return to their community to lead in their community. Cathy hopes that she will be able to accommodate 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls by the year 2013 by accepting each new grade each year. And so, Cathy, welcome to Envision Life. I want to thank you so much for being here and being a part of this show. And thank you so much for being here, Cathy.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You know, I want to get right into this because this is such an exciting thing that you have started, that you've begun. And I want to know, you started out as a lawyer and as a law professor. How did that journey take you to starting the Community School for Girls here in Charlotte? What was that transition like, and what was that process like? Tell me about that and how that became your passion.
Yeah, my passion actually came before I started the practice of law. I had opportunity to go to a private high school as a result of kind of being lost in a system as a middle school student, just being one of a number. And my parents recognized that, didn't have the money to afford to send me to a private school, but sought scholarship, and I was able to go to a private high school, which made a tremendous difference in my life. I had amazing opportunities there and developed relationships with professors that I otherwise wouldn't have had. So it really kind of began a little bit with that dream. I've always been passionate about kids. I coached teams when I was a young adult, was involved in the Big Sister program when I was an undergraduate student at Duke University. And I knew in my heart that someday I would come back to giving back to children. So when I was in law school, I started an inner city swim team. I had a lot of low-income kids from pretty disadvantaged backgrounds. Saw the difference that a powerful relationship could make in a child's life. Really bonded with those kids that were a part of that swim team. I had kids that had come from very abusive backgrounds and really were tremendously successful in that setting. And I knew in my heart of hearts that someday I would find a way back to that opportunity to give back.
Sure. And let me ask you, how did the idea conceptualize? How did that come about? This Charlotte Community School for Girls. What was that process like?
Well, I've been talking about it for a long time. So my kids are 16 now. I think their entire lives they heard the story of mom's dream of having a school one day. But in January 2009, I woke up and I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to stop talking about this and I'm going to actually do it. And so I spent from January to May of 2009 really putting down my ideas for the perfect school on paper. Visited all sorts of schools around the country and really developed the concept for this new innovative school here in Charlotte.
Okay. And talk to us a little bit about the school itself. What are you guys doing? And it just started. You just started this year, and so that's got to be exciting. What are some of the programs? What are the girls learning? And what are the benefits that are coming out of this?
Well, 100% of our students are on free or reduced lunch, so we're a free private school, so that makes us pretty different. We're also the first all-girls school in Charlotte. We are also community-based and experientially focused. So those pieces come together to provide a pretty unique learning experience for our girls. For example, today in history class, they wrote their own history rap. We're wrapping up a unit on Inuits, and
really?
They performed it in rap.
Okay.
And that is the kind of learning that we're looking, that really provides girls opportunities to experience their learning. And it is those experiences that really ground them in a strong education.
Now, I mentioned the question when we started out in the beginning, does gender schools really make a difference? And I want to get your perspective on that. And does that really have benefit for girls learning and separating them from boys? So what's your take on that? And does that really make a difference? Because there are some that would say that it really doesn't. But obviously you believe that it does, or else you wouldn't have started the Community School for Girls.
I believe that what a girls' school does is not really remove boys from the classroom, but it empowers the girls that are there. And so they're much more inclined to engage in things that they wouldn't ordinarily engage in. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There's a whole host of research that shows that girls who are in single gender environments are much more likely to pursue those as careers. There's a whole another line of research that establishes that girls who experience a single gender education in middle school, high school, or college are much more likely to rise to the top of their profession, whatever that profession may be. And so our school is really not about excluding boys, not about the fact that boys and girls may learn differently, which is sometimes true and sometimes not, but it's really about empowering girls and giving them just tremendous opportunities to succeed and in fact reach for the stars.
Wow, that's amazing. Now talk to us about how these students are selected. What's the criteria? What's the process? And I've got two little girls myself, and when they get to middle school, I want them to experience something of this nature. And so how do they get selected? And what's that process?
Our process begins with the paper application, and really we want to ensure that the girls that are in our school are eligible for free or reduced lunch, so that we are serving the girls who are the least likely to have access to this type of education. So that's the first screening criteria. And then all of our applicants who meet that criteria are invited to come to school for a half of day. And we had interviewers that were present that day. We actually had 7 interview adults observing the children on that school day. And the parents had to go through an interview process as well.
Really? Wow.
And so it was a pretty elongated process. And At the end, we sat down at a conference table and invited our inaugural class to join us.
Wow. Now tell me about the plans that you have for the school. Right now it's fifth grade, and so what's the long-term plan, and what does the future hold, and what are you looking to do for the next several years?
Well, right now we're focusing on raising funds to increase our class, to add another grade behind this year's grade, so that next year we would have 5th and 6th graders. And over the course of the next 4 years, we would end up serving 5th through 8th grades. So that's what our long-term plan is. There is certainly a need in Charlotte. There's 68,000 children on free and reduced lunch in CMS schools. So we know that there are more than enough children to fill 18 children a grade in our school. And I think as our board, as we have some success and as our board has more successes with fundraising, that we'll revisit our growth plan and decide whether we want to have multiple locations, increase class size. But there is a really strong argument for staying with small classes because we're able to really individualize education in a way that doesn't ordinarily happen. And that's pretty central to our vision.
Sure, great. And talk to us about the difference that you see from the public school system versus now, it is sort of a private school. It is a private school. Is there a difference that you've seen? And can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Well, our expectations are high. And so we know that all of our children have gifts and talents. We know that they can all excel academically, and we expect them to. And so the minute they enter the door, there's an expectation that they will attend college. And that is a little different, I think, from all public schools. I think lots of children have the benefit of having some teachers in their lives that have high expectations of them, but not all of their teachers. And our teachers really expect a lot from our students, and they deliver.
Right. And that's great to have that standard and to have those expectations, because that's something that you don't see, particularly in the public school system, but to know that when you are looking for children and interviewing them and interviewing their parents, that there is something different that you expect from them. And I certainly applaud you on that. And talk to us about how the process is for individuals who can get involved in the school and in supporting and partnering with you. What are some of the opportunities that are available?
Well, we're a community-based school, so we have a tremendous opportunity to be involved. We're looking for volunteers to tutor in our school Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. We're growing our board of directors and our board of advisors, so we need people to serve in that capacity. Of course, we need funds. As a nonprofit, we can't operate without funding. And we have a tremendous need to provide those rich educational experiences that reach beyond the ordinary classroom. So community volunteers who can come in and offer their skills to our scholars are really an important part of our vision.
And we've got to take a quick break, but I want to come back to that point because I want to let you expound on that a little bit more in terms of how individuals can partner, where they can go, how they can reach you, and that sort of thing, and to really give our viewers an opportunity to be able to experience what you're doing for the girls there at the school and how they can be a support to you. And so you're watching Envision Life. We're with Cathy Sheafor, the Charlotte Community School for Girls. And just after this break, we're going to come right back, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about how you can get involved and how you can be a support to this school and to the lives of girls. We'll be right back.